What are the risks of falconry predation? Have you ever wondered what happens when trained birds of prey, like falcons and hawks, hunt in the wild? Falconry predation brings a mix of risks for both the hunting birds and their prey. Let's break down these risks to understand the impact of falconry on bird behavior and ecology. First, let's talk about the predation pressure on prey birds. Falconry birds hunt smaller birds and mammals, which adds to the natural predation that already exists in the wild. However, falconry typically targets species that are common in their environment. The removal of a few individuals by falconry does not drastically change the overall population dynamics. For instance, many young raptors have a survival rate of less than 20% in their first year. So, taking one of these young birds for falconry does not significantly impact the population. Still, for the prey birds, falconry represents an extra threat they must navigate. Next, we have disease transmission risks. Falconry birds can contract diseases like avian influenza when they consume whole prey, which may include infected birds. Raptors that hunt waterfowl and gulls are at a higher risk of exposure. While many raptors can resist certain strains of avian influenza, some highly pathogenic strains can lead to serious illness or even death. If falconry birds eat infected prey, they could spread the disease to other birds or even humans nearby. Another important aspect is the stress and welfare concerns for falconry birds. Training and hunting under human control can be stressful for these birds. They relying on visual cues and unfamiliar or threatening stimuli can lead to stress behaviors like freezing or excessive vocalizing. Proper training and care are essential to minimize stress and keep the birds healthy and effective hunters. Environmental and conservation considerations also play a role. Many falconry birds are protected species, and their use in falconry can have regulatory implications. However, falconry is often practiced sustainably, usually taking only young birds that would have low survival rates. This approach does not disrupt natural selection processes, as it mimics natural predation by targeting slower or weaker individuals. Lastly, let's discuss the effectiveness and limitations of falconry in bird control. Falconry has been used to manage bird hazards in places like airports. However, it is not always the most cost-effective or suitable method for every situation. Its use is often limited to specific problem species, making falconry predation a targeted risk rather than a widespread threat to bird populations. In summary, while falconry predation adds to the natural risks faced by wild birds, it usually does so in a controlled manner. The main risks include increased predation on prey species, potential disease transmission to falconry birds, and stress related to training and captivity. Proper management and ethical practices in falconry help balance the interests of the hunting birds, their prey, and conservation efforts.